Hey guys, Brutal here. I decided to take a few minutes to kind of review my UI and talk about the changes I've made and the goal of it going into midnight. Back when I was playing during Legion, BFA, Shadowlands, before I took my big break because Shadowlands, I was known for making and sharing weak auras and my UI as a whole and whatnot. And right up front, this is not available for download. I play on an ultra wide, and even though what you're seeing is in 2560, that's because right now the goal for my UI while I stream and while I make videos is not just to present useful, pertinent information for myself, but to make the viewer experience as good as it can be. So I have things like my objective tracker, I have things like my mini map, my action bars pushed off outside of that 2560 by 1440 viewing window, whatever you want to call it, that viewable area, because it's just, to me, it's not useful, it's not important information for the viewer experience in most cases. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of that. My point being, what you see is not available, but what you do see should be pleasant to look at and pleasant to look at for extended periods of time while I'm streaming. I have just tweaked the crap out of this UI. Shout out to my Twitch chat, specifically one dude named OMV. If he ever watches this video, you are the MVP. Thank you so much for taking so much time over these last couple of weeks to help me get my UI dialed in. Now, all of that said, there's going to be a big section after this portion of the video where all I do is talk about my UI. And it's really, really boring in almost all cases. But if you are interested to know which add-ons I'm using, why I'm using them, there is information after this B-roll footage and after my voiceover. Again, the purpose of my UI going into midnight, and this is kind of a no-brainer, but I'm just going to say it. I just want to make sure that any information that's important for combat purposes is centralized, while also maintaining a positive viewer experience. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, concerns, if you notice anything that's really weird and broken or buggy or whatever that doesn't look right, leave in the comments below. Let me know. But I'm very proud of what I and we have accomplished. It's simple, it's streamlined, it is just, it's usable. It works, and I have zero errors right now, knock on wood, and I know that things will break, and it's not going to be some perfect, flawless thing on a patch-to-patch basis, but very happy with everything as a whole. But again, yeah, if you want to talk about it, feel free to leave it in the comments below, swing by my Twitch stream, everything is Brutal Static, Twitter, Twitch, Discord, etc., and I would love to hear from you, but thank you. And again, for the next, 15 minutes, it's just me talking about add-ons, so enjoy. All right, I'm just going to run through the add-ons that I have turned on / the add-ons I have installed right now. And I'm just going to go down the list here as they are listed in the add-on list in-game. And I'll do my best to be brief, so hang in there. Action bars enhanced, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit for this first part. Sensei class resource bar are exactly what you would expect them to be, or what you've seen them to be, and so on and so forth. They are going to be your cooldown manager, reskinning, very much your weak auras of midnight. I don't feel like there's a lot that I need to explain here. I have them organized and positioned and sized in a way that, makes sense for me, the way that they are comfortable for me. I currently have targeted spells turned off. This used to be a weak aura, it's now a standalone add-on. It's something I'll turn back on for Mythic Plus, but it doesn't really serve much of a purpose right now outside of Mythic Plus, so I have it turned off. You know what Auctionator is. Elcano's buff bars. This one may not be as familiar to you guys. This is actually a really old add-on made by a guy named Elcano. All it does is it converts your buffs or your debuffs into visible bars on your screen instead of icons. And I've used it for a really long time. I specifically use it for debuffs because it displays debuffs. Gives you the icon, a bar, a timer, the name of the debuff. It's visually easier for me to understand and discern what's going on. So right now it is currently quite broken because of the midnight updates. I have a workaround going with LVUI, because in LVUI you can have let's see, aura bars. So I'm currently using aura bars. It's not quite the same. It doesn't catch it doesn't catch as many of the debuffs due to filtering and whatnot, but beyond that, things like can I mog it, I just used to put a little check mark or a little X on items in my bags to let me know if I have something already learned in transmog. And you can see, you know, I'll talk about all of these add-ons here in a moment. And you also saw light mount here. I love light mount because it allows me to randomly summon a mount without having to have everything on my favorites list. And it works really well. The cool thing about light mount, and same thing with there's also something called mog mount. But with light mount, I can categorize them and give them different levels of priority. Right now, I have mine set to summon mounts I have used the least. So anytime I go to summon a mount, it'll, I suppose, you know, to the best of my knowledge, it'll pull mounts that I have used less frequently than others, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not a big transmog guy, so I don't care about matching my mount to my transmog. I just care about summoning random mounts because I like to see what I've collected over the years. So yeah, hey look, moose. Bug Grabber and Bug Sack are very self-explanatory. Everyone knows what those are. Pre-made groups filter. I like pre-made groups filter because it allows me to specify what I want out of my Mythic Plus groups. I can see specs instead of just classes, and it allows me to focus things without having to dig into this little filter option here. Filter things instead of focus things, I suppose I should say. Anyway, I love it. It works well. Saved instances is an oldie but a goldie for me. Right now, I'm not really displaying much right now, but at the moment, I currently can see all of the raids and the dungeons and the weeklies and the dailies and so on and so on. There's a lot that it tracks, and I've used this add-on for a very, very long time. But right now, I just don't have any currencies tracked. You can see it tracks currencies from many years and expansions ago, and it'll be updated for midnight. It'll track any present, or rather I should say any current currencies, any current weeklies and dailies, and it's really helpful if you want to keep track of things across a character or an account in relation to all sorts of stuff. Up next is Bagginator. Bagginator, you already saw it here a moment ago. It reskins your bags. I'm not a big fan of categories in bags. I just like having one big bag. The real kicker for me, outside of being able to see everything in one bag, is how it interacts with the different windows in game, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we dig into Bagginator's options here, you'll see there is an auto open option, and I specifically, above all else, for whatever reason, I love when my bags automatically open when I access my character panel. Don't ask me why. I don't know. It is what it is. But if you want your bags to open automatically when you open various windows, as you just saw, let me open up. There we go. So auction house, bank, catalyst, character panel, crafting window. I mean, the list goes on and on. But anyway, you can resize it, you can skin it, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. I love it. Then we have Crowley's extended vendor UI. If I jump onto a mount real quick, I go into a vendor, boom. It just allows you to have more columns than usual. And that's why I use it. There are other add-ons that do this, but I find this one to be simple, easy. A syndicator just ties into Bagginator. Mask is a reskinner. I actually have it turned off right now. I was using it for my cooldown manager for Bagginator, but I downloaded an icons pack that just reskins all icons to be squares, and I have it installed in case I come across a situation in game where I still need it, but at the moment it's not needed. Craft Sim is something really cool. I like this thing because it allows me to see the concentration on various characters, or all characters on my account. I can see what the average profit will be when I'm crafting something based on what the current price is on. Nothing's set up right now, so forgive me, but on Auctionator. But if you want to have an easier time making a little bit of profit at the early stages, the beginning of midnight, download Craft Sim and dig into the settings, and it's very, very, very intuitive, very straightforward. I'm not an auction house guy. I'm not a crafter. I normally could not care less about this aspect of the game, but at the beginning of any expansion, when prices are high and players are ready to rock and roll, you can make a pretty penny by using this add-on, crafting some stuff, flipping it on the auction house, and again, being able to see every character's concentration level on your account is quite nice. Oh boy, enhanced quality of life. My goodness, I don't even know where to start with this add-on. This add-on does 100,000 things, a million things. I'm not going to sit here and go into every little tweak. If you want to download this add-on and you want it to improve your quality of life, just download it and play with it. It does so much. So yeah, this right here, I'll give you this example. So Mover, instead of downloading the old like Blizzard Move Me or whatever that add-on is, it's built into this add-on, right? I highly recommend you download this add-on. Oh yeah, like the ring around my mouse cursor, it does that, so you don't need another add-on for that. It's built into this add-on. Just, man, I'm doing a horrible job selling it, but believe me, it's worth looking into. It's a great add-on. I have Azeroth Pilot Reloaded. I actually used to, if you guys remember Azeroth Autopilot way back in the day, I used to contribute to that add-on. I'm not going to be using this for leveling my hunter, my first character through midnight. I just want to have a very comfortable, very fun, very natural experience leveling when midnight launches here in a couple of days, depending upon when you watch this. But Azeroth Pilot Reloaded, I'll be using it on my alts just to make the process a bit more, you know, relaxing and laid back and whatnot. That's pretty self-explanatory. It just helps you go through the leveling process. It puts a little arrow up on your screen and it just guides you. And it's you know, just if you want to have something up on the other monitor, like somebody's Twitch stream, hint hint, nudge nudge, great option. Easy experience bar. If you guys remember Luxthos's experience bar, Weak Aura back in the day, I think Luxthos is the one that made it. This is basically that, but now it's a standalone add-on. Kaliel's Tracker, hoping I'm pronouncing that right. This is just an objective tracker reskin. The cool thing about this is not only does it make your objective tracker look better, but it gives you kind of like a boss button or an extra action button for quest items. Highly recommend it. I know that AAP back in the day used to do that too, so there may not be a need for that extra action button on both of these add-ons, but I just love how simple and how enjoyable this add-on is for that purpose. Now, LVY. Everyone knows that LVY is. Holy cow, man. I personally have decided to continue using LVY. It's something I've used for 15 years. It's something I want to continue using. And yeah, I'm not going to go through every little detail in LVY. I have bags turned off. I have nameplates turned off. But yeah, I mean, listen, I don't need to explain LVY. It's LVY. It completely remodels, reskins their UI. A lot of quality of life enhancements built into that add-on as well. Ooh, Better Friends List. This is a good one. So Better Friends List just reskins your friends list here. And it allows you to have groups, you know, specific groups. I don't have much of it set up at the moment. I'll do more of that in midnight when I start running Mythic Plus. But what I really like about it is when you're in a raid, it reskins your raid window. That way you can see, you know, of course, class colors and names and different groups and whatnot, but it gives the role icon of anyone in your raid. It puts it on their bar, I think on the far right side of the bar at the moment. But that way you can see, hey, that priest is a healer at a glance. That warrior is a tank at a glance. Looks good. I love that feature. Highly recommend it if you want to organize your friends list and have a better raid window at a glance. Minimap button collects all the little buttons, all the little icons around your minimap and puts them in one button. I have it pushed off. I never use it. I just like collecting the buttons. Paste in G just allows you to paste in much longer or larger strings of text in game. Like if you need to copy something in for a macro or a command, whatever. Be Quiet silences and removes all of the talking heads that pop up for quests and world quests. Ugh, get it out of here. Can't stand those things. So that's why I have that installed. Bigwigs, you know what Bigwigs is. Buy 'em all allows me to buy much larger stacks of items from merchants. Simple as that. Capping is just a PvP add-on. It allows you to see things in like Arathi Basin and whatnot. Like, hey, you know, farm is captured in X seconds. Alliance or the Horde are gonna win in the next minute 20 based on how everything is mathing out at the moment. If you PvP, you probably use this add-on or something even better than this. I just installed this the other day because I was bored and I decided to queue for some PvP stuff. It allowed me to test my UI, and yeah, simple. And that's all there is to it. Now, Chonky character sheet, this one I just came across the other day. Big fan of this. Holy moly. Chonky character sheet is something that allows you to completely reskin and redo your character sheet here. You can see that there are, you know, various color coded aspects to it between items and backgrounds. It allows you to see the track that items are on, enchants, ranks, gems. I think it looks good. There's also, here, if I close this option window here, you can also hover over different aspects of this portion, this window. You can see, hey, I have X amount of kills on these bosses and these raids. I have, here's my Mythic Plus rating, item level. You have different stats you can turn on and off. Like right now, I don't have all of them enabled, so I can turn those off. I love this thing. I love being able to just open my window, my character panel, and see everything's enchanted, everything's gemmed, everything's, you know, currently max 8 out of 8, 6 out of 6, whatever it is per patch. I love it. It does show you when, you know, enchants are missing or whatnot. You can resize it, you can scale it, you can change the font. Again, it's just totally customizable. Highly recommend Chonky character sheet if you want your character sheet to look like this or something similar. Details, what is there? No one, listen. One thing I will say in the way that my details works is I have a set of details windows. Let me pull it up here. That I have for Mythic Plus, Windows 1, 2, 3, overall damage, current healing, and then I also have a set of windows for rating, current damage, current healing. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to track and represent what kind of damage and healing and the breakdown that I specifically want to see based on where I am. Raid versus Mythic Plus versus open world. I don't have anything displayed when I'm in the open world at the moment, just because who cares? I don't need to know what kind of damage I'm doing on a quest mob. And I have a little macro that I have here that anytime I need to toggle various windows, I press this. So it'll either display 1, 2, 3, or it'll display Windows 4 and 5. And anytime I press this macro, it alternates between the two. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask. Larius's weekly midnight checklist. This is just a little add-on here that I'll be using at the beginning of midnight just to make sure that I'm min-maxing, you know, gear upgrades and stuff like that. I'll link the document, the Google document, in the description below that kind of explains this better. I'm not gonna try to break it down. It's very helpful if you want to, again, min-max upgrade per your upgrades at the beginning of midnight. Little Wigs, you know what that is. Money frame fix. I ran into a bug the other day. Somebody told me to install this. It's red. I guess that means it's not working. I don't know, but the point is, this did. I guess it is working because this did fix the error that was popping up anytime I was looting something. So, good job, Blizzard, for breaking your own game. M Plus timer is made by, I believe it's Relo. If you guys remember the old Weak Aura Mythic Plus timer, this is just a standalone add-on that does the same thing. It reskins your Mythic Plus timer, and yeah, simple as that. Looks good, performs well, etc. MDT. We all know what Mythic Dungeon Tools is right now, or at this point in time, so I'm not going to explain that. New Openables puts a little box down here next to my chat box. So anytime I have something that's clickable, mount, you know, pets, whatever it is that I can click on, open of the current box you get during the Valentine's Day event. Anything that can be clicked on to open something or memorize something or whatever gets thrown into a little box down here by my chat window, and it just consolidates things and keeps things visible for me. All right, Paragon Reputation. What does this do at this point in time? So if you... Here, actually, let me open this up, close my Mythic Plus panel there, go into Reputation. Okay, well, whatever. This is opening up with Reputation for whatever reason. But if you go into Reputations here, I think it displays whenever you're at, yeah, so it displays when you're at max Paragon or max rank or whatever. That way you can keep track of when you're getting Paragon boxes and stuff like that. I'll be honest, I haven't used this in a while, but it's something I carried over from my War Within UI and worked well then, and I'm sure it'll work well in Midnight. I'm not really chasing reputation, so I haven't thought about it in a long time. Plater, again, we all know what Plater is. I specifically use the Jundies profile. I'll link that down below as well, but Jundies profile is what I use. I'm not going to spend any time talking about Plater. It's a fantastic nameplate add-on. I know Platinators out there as well. Use whatever makes you happy. Postal's fun. Whenever you get a piece of mail, you can just instantly delete it from your inbox. Just makes the inbox easier to interact with, and yeah, there's nothing more to say about that. Raider.io, we all know what that is. We already talked about Sensei class resource bar. Put your mana, your fury, your soul shards, put your whatever you use, regardless of your class and spec, in a better looking bar. You can resize it, you can make it visible, and so on and so forth. Highly recommend this if you're looking to reskin and improve that aspect of your UI. Sentinel Hunter tools. Hey, look, my MS catapulted after getting out of an LFR. My Sentinel Hunter tools here is a fun new add-on I found a week or two ago. I use it as a hunter because it has a variety of little reminders like, hey, here, in fact, if I unlock frame, yeah, so hey, this is all stacked right now. This would not show up normally, but hey, you need to summon your pet. Your pet's dead. Your pet's not attacking. Your pet's on passive. Oh my god, there's so much going on. It also has like a gateway reminder. It's really neat. It also has a really helpful smart misdirect tool. This used to be a weak aura, and this is actually why I downloaded this add-on. Is if you're in a group and you're a hunter, once you set this up, all you have to do is press your misdirect. You don't have to macro anything. You don't have to target anything. You don't have to specify. No, it'll automatically determine, hey, I'm in a Mythic Plus. Anytime I press my misdirect, it's going to misdirect to the tank in the group. Hey, I'm soloing. Anytime I press my misdirect, it's going to automatically misdirect my pet. Hey, I'm in a raid. Anytime I press misdirect, I'm going to automatically misdirect any tank, one of the tanks in the raid, and so on and so forth. It works so well. But yeah, it's got combat trackers, buff reminders, utility reminders. It's got a whole lot. So highly recommend Sentinel Hunter tools. Oh, get out of here, Q. I don't need you anymore. Highly recommend Sentinel Hunter tools if you want that and a few more little things that it does. Simulation Craft, that's just for, when you want to sim your damage on SimC or raid bots. True stat values is really nice. This is something I've been using for a while. As you get further into Midnight, it'll tell you, I'm hovering over crit right now. Hey, if you keep pushing crit, you are hitting diminishing returns. And yeah, it just helps you make sure that you're prioritizing your stats a little bit better. But again, you're going to use this in conjunction with simming anyway, but that's what that is. Waypoint UI just makes putting waypoints on your... Let's see will this work? Let's see. If I look that way. Yeah, so it just makes waypoints look really nice whenever you're, questing, whenever you're out there in the world, whatever the case may be. It just makes things look really nice, or it makes waypoints look really nice, and I'm a big fan of that. And what were the last two? Oh yeah, and then I think there were two more that I have on there. World Quest Tracker, World Quests List. You probably just saw them a moment ago whenever I opened up my map. So this right here just puts icons or better icons, whatever you want to phrase it, on your map. That way you can see, hey, this is specifically a gold world quest. This is specifically a Skyrider racing world quest, and so on and so forth. And then the tracker on the right side here lets you see time, the faction, the zone, the reward, the name, etc., etc. And again, you can tune this to represent and to relay information in whatever way you want. Now, having mentioned every single add-on that I have installed, there are about a billion little tweaks that I have done in my UI to make it work for me. If you see anything, if you saw anything while I was in a dungeon, in a raid, standing around a Dornagal talking about stuff, if you have a question, a comment, a concern, if you notice something was broken and buggy, of which there are things that are broken and buggy right now, I know that, feel free to mention it. I am also always looking for useful and or fun and or helpful add-ons to improve my experience and the experience of people who watch, the experience of people who I run dungeons with and whatnot. So please, I am always open to suggestions and advice. I love tweaking my UI. Thanks for listening and watching this video. I know it's not the most exciting thing, but I just wanted to, put pen to paper, so to speak, and showcase what I'm using going into midnight. Appreciate you guys. See you in the next one. Thanks and come again.